Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 7 of Let's Play Civilization 3, Play the World, the Colonization map. Alright, in our last video we've started our colonial enterprises, and that will be continuing now. As you can see, the Chinese are also getting on with the action. The Spanish have already settled the city. It seems like the Chinese don't want to be late to the punch, so they're going to do what they can to get themselves down there as well. As you can see, the Russians and the Koreans are still fighting. The Russians and the Germans might be fighting, but we don't know because we don't have an embassy with either of them. But anyway, we have one settler left that is waiting, so we're going to send him into this boat. Alright, and we're going to send that boat to settle the southern half of this island. Yes, it's an island that's very important to us because, as you can see, it contains a source of iron. And once we connect that iron to our empire, that will be a great help to us. Alright, Eridu has built a worker. Instead of building a harbor right away, I'm actually going to set it up with a few things I wanted to build first. First a barracks, then an aqueduct, and then a harbor. It's not that important to get it a harbor that quickly because there aren't any vital resources on the island, but it'll be a major population center eventually because of the ample food sources around. So I'm going to build the aqueduct first and then the harbor. Besides, things are going to be built very quickly in that city because of the forest square that's there right now. So anyway, looks like the Chinese are moving their ships. Oh, and Korea and Russia are now at peace. It looks like no territory was swapped. The Koreans did control that one Russian city for a while, but it seems that Russia managed to win it back. So, we're going to send these guys over to here to build another city in this general area. I think I'll make up my mind as to exactly where I want it once the ship gets down there. Yes, it's pretty evident that it's a larger continent mass, so I want to definitely settle plenty of cities there. Because although having islands is good, having a large bulk of your colonial empire on continents is even better. So I'm pretty much going to set up my cities in a rotation. Like, they will build a spearman, then a settler, and then they'll build something like a library, or maybe some military units that will be good for themselves, and for the protection of the old world portion of my country. And then they'll go back to building more settlers. Eventually, as the colonies get more developed, the primary responsibility for building colonies will be to the colonies themselves. But anyway, the Russians went to talk to us, and they're offering us to sell us a printing press. But I say never mind, because I think that I'll be able to make a better deal in a minute here. Well, now we have chemistry, so that opens the door for a lot of potential trades with our neighbors. So I begin to talk to a few random people here, see what they have to offer me. Seems that the English have economics and the printing press. Economics is more valuable and probably more relevant too, so I'm going to put more of a effort into getting that. And I'm very exact with the amount I want. Not completely exact, but to the nearest 5 should be okay. So we form a deal that they like, and I get that technology. Now it's time to talk to other people and see what other kind of technology trades I can do. Well, I don't have anything the Koreans really want, and it seems that just selling them dyes won't be enough. Now let's talk to our neighbors, the Greeks. Okay. Nope, actually let's talk to the Chinese first. Turns out that it's relatively simple to get a deal with them to get some wines for our silks. So that's something that will be good. Let's see who else we can talk to. It appears that the Japanese are really behind in technology. Not at all like the Japanese in real life, who remain at the forefront of technology. Now the Ottomans have the printing press, so we'll give them astronomy for it, because everyone pretty much has astronomy now. So it's not going to be a big deal. Oh, and as we can see, the Germans have settled a city on that land over there. So we're not the only active colonial power right now. Other countries have begun their empire building processes. The French have democracy, but we're not going to be able to get that soon. So it's good to know that the Greeks are still pretty far behind us, which is good. I want to keep it that way. Alright, let's talk to the Spanish. They're also really far behind us, not too much help. Alright. I think we've pretty much talked to everyone, or at least everyone I want to talk to. So we'll bring this boat down here to settle. And since that island has been pretty much explored, we're going to bring that bowman off the island to do some other things. Alright, so far so good. And we'll bring these two guys out to settle another city there. So that way the entire island will be ours, and there will be no chance of another civilization forming their colonies there. So now we've built the city of Lagash on this peninsula of what is clearly a larger continent, which I think is a foothold which we can grow from. Alright, let the ships move. Alright, well, since you've built a library, it's time for you to build a spearman and a settler to keep in with the rotation. Alright, let's build... Well, let's get you on the boat first, actually. And let's send you back up to... back up there, which is our staging ground for the colonization forces. Alright, so let's build this city. The city of Kish. Yes. So, let them build the temple first. Why not? It's always a good thing to build. Alright, oh, they're up to the aqueduct already. It's a wonderful thing when your cities are being productive. So we definitely want to build a worker at Samara to get that iron. That's a priority. So, the capital is going to build another spearman and another settler. And our ships will just mosey on back. Oh, and the Chinese have another caravel. The good thing about our situation, though, is we're a lot closer to the New World than a lot of the other countries are. So even though we might be disadvantaged in our size and starting out in jungle, we do have a little bit of an advantage being closer to the continent. So I trade world maps with the Chinese, and it turns out quite a number of other countries have gotten to the New World, including the English and the French, who have founded their cities near strategic and luxury resources, except the English. I'm not sure if there's anything really by Oxford. But it's a step in the door for larger colonial empires, so we're going to want to keep our eyes on that. And I try to buy a few world maps to see how much they've explored, but mainly they really only know the direct routes to their colonies that they took when they originally settled them, which I guess is a little disappointing, but it's not unexpected. We're going to have to do some more exploring ourselves. So, we'll bring those two guys down here to join in the party. Meanwhile, our bowmen will continue exploring the continent, probably running into barbarians sooner or later. Alright, so I'll put those guys right there. It's a pretty convenient spot surrounded by water. It's a little close to Lagash, but not that close. It's not too much of a thing to have them that far apart. Alright, well, that concludes this episode. We'll see you next time.